Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Mmathapelo Dakada here, and this is part 2 of 5 basic tips on how to take care of your natural hair. So uh, in the first part I just went through 5 basic tips on how to take care of your hair, and I will put it up there as a recommendation so that you can watch it and see what it was all about. Right now I'm doing the second leg of it, and it's just knowing your hair type and knowing what works for you. So I'm going to do the porosity test, right? And this is the test that you can use to see then what products or what type of hair routine you should go into. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned. Okay, so the porosity test, right? There's 3 types, like I said. There's low, medium, and high, right? So how you do it is basically you take a cup, like a small cup of water, preferably a clear cup, obviously, so you can see where your hair is going floating. So then you take a small strands of your hair. Don't break your hair. Be gentle, please. So small strands of your hair, and you just dip it inside the water, right? And give it a few minutes, like maybe 2 minutes at most. And then, depending on where your hair lands, it will tell you what hair type you have. So if it sinks down to the bottom of the glass, it will mean that you have got high porosity, right? If it stays in the middle, it means you've got medium porosity. And if the thing floats, if your hair strands float on the top of the glass, it means you've got low porosity, right? And depending on that, there's different routines and hair products that you have to use, you know, because then your hair requires something different from the next person's hair. So I'm going to now go straight into that. So low porosity, right? So low porosity, you put your hair strands in the glass, and it flows to the top. So that's the type of hair that's got super tight coils, right? It's got super tight coils, and it does not absorb moisture quite easily. It also does not retain water quite easily. Hence why it is floating, you know. If it was able to absorb water, it would obviously absorb the water and become heavier. And when something is heavier, it sinks, right? But because this one is not absorbing the water, it's floating up there, which is the same thing that happens with with your hair. What am I saying? With that type of hair, I have low porosity. That's why I keep on saying my hair, our hair. You know, so yes, so I've got low porosity, right? So it's going to float because it's not absorbing the water. It also can't absorb moisture easily, and you'll find a lot of the times you apply products to your hair looks great, and then like 30 minutes later it looks dry as if you did nothing to it that day, you know. And it's a problem because also your hair appears dull at face value. But in actual fact, when you touch your hair, you'll have like a lot of product residue on your hands, and that's how you'll know as well. So it looks as if it's dry, but it's actually not. And then you'll have a lot of product build up. So instead of the product seeping through into your hair and your hair strands, it just stays right there. You know, it doesn't penetrate through. It just stays on the top, and then you just got a whole lot of product that you don't know what to do with, yet your hair looks dry and feels like it's breaking, and it looks frizzy, you know, and brittle. So what you need to do, if you've got this type of hair, which is what I've got and this is what I do, is you need to invest in deep conditioning treatments. Like, do a lot of deep conditioning treatments, because what deep conditioning treatments do is that they help your hair be able to manage the moisture and retain moisture, you know. And obviously, being deep conditioner, it deeply penetrates through your hair follicles, and it moisturizes your hair, right? So invest in deep conditioning treatments, as well as deep leave-in conditioners, right? So I've got about three different types of leave-in conditioners that I use. So leave-in conditioners are also your best friend. Like, invest in those, because those obviously are, like, they work overnight, so you'll apply a leave-in conditioner on your hair, and then you maybe plait it and twist out or whatever. And what I do as well that helps a lot is that I wrap my hair with, like, a plastic. If you've got like a shower cap, okay, fine. If not, you can just wrap a normal plastic bag, like from the grocery store, and then wear your satin doek over it, and then just sleep. So then what that does is that overnight, because of the plastic bag, all the moisture is literally circulating and going back into your hair, circulating and going back into your hair, unlike it circulates and it seeps out. So the plastic bag forces it to circulate within and keep circulating and going back into your hair, and providing your hair with moisture, right? So you'll see when you wake up the next morning and you take off the plastic. Listen, your hair will be popping. Like, the moisture would have been retained properly. So that's one tip I can give you when it comes to that. So invest in deep conditioning treatments, invest in leave-in conditioners, and then yeah, you don't necessarily need a lot of hot oil treatments, because generally your scalp is okay. Your scalp is not screaming for help. Your scalp's not dry. It's just the hair itself not being able to retain moisture, and having a lot of product built up. It's also good that you use water-based, what you call it, water-based hair butter. The one that I have is the one from Rutos. They've got like this water-based hair butter, and that's what I use. So try using material water-based products, right? Try using water-based products, obviously, because you can't retain the moisture. So if it's a water-based product, at least that's minus one problem. It helps you, with that situation, right? And then yeah, protein treatments as well. Protein treatments are also not for everyone, but protein treatments also help. You can do protein treatments at home, or can do them at the salon. I'll do a protein treatment episode one of these days, and then you guys can see how it actually gets done. But what protein treatments do is that they strengthen your hair, right? So they'll strengthen your hair, and it will help with like breakage situations and stuff. And a lot of the times I do my protein treatments, especially just before I go and I plait my hair. Just before plaiting my hair, I do protein treatments, because obviously going to go plait, your hair is going to go through some kind of, hectic manipulation and all of that. So what the protein treatment does is that it gives it strength before it goes and endures what it is has to endure when you're plaiting. So that's the advantage of protein treatments, right? Yeah, so I won't go too much into that, but that's low porosity, right? And then we've got medium porosity, guys. Medium porosity now, like, you guys are good. You guys can just, yeah, like, your hair is like the ideal type of hair, because your hair, like, it listens. It can retain just enough moisture, and it can, like, it absorbs just enough water, so this is the type of hair that is just perfect. Like, you can just do a normal, just get into like a basic routine and stick to that. You can obviously do protein treatments here and there where needed. I don't necessarily think you would need a lot of hot oil treatments, and deep conditioning treatments you also don't need a lot of. Maybe like here and there you can do them, but generally your hair is good. Like your hair is the goal. But yeah, so medium porosity, you guys don't have problems. You really don't have problems. So yeah, that was that. And then we go into high porosity. Guys, I thought I had problems. Well, I actually do. But high porosity, like high porosity is that problem child that just gets overly excited and doesn't know what to do with itself, and then it's like, oh, it's just there. High porosity is like, yeah, it's the type of hair. So high porosity, guys, yo, it like absorbs too much water. Like it's just you apply water to it, it just absorbs it, like it sucks it up, it sucks it up, it sucks it up, and then it doesn't know what to do with it afterwards. And then it's just got like a whole lot, even products that you apply to it, it just sucks it up and sucks it up and sucks it up, and then it's like, what now? It's like that Teletubby vacuum, the vacuum from Teletubbies that just that's high porosity. Hence why it sinks. And like if you put it in glass water, it's gonna sink to the bottom because it's already sucked up so much of that water. Even when you okay, so it sucks up the water, right? You apply water to your hair, it sucks it up, and then you apply any kind of like hair butter, hair product to it, to moisturize it. Then it sucks that up as well, and then it's like, I want more, and then you left looking like you did not apply anything to your hair. Your hair looks dry. Your hair is dry. It is frizzy and brittle, and it breaks a lot. So that's the problem with that type of hair. It just doesn't know when to stop. When they say winners know when to stop, that one ain't a winner. Like it does not know when to stop. So yeah. So the problem with that is that obviously because it's like absorbing so much, it doesn't know what to do with it, and then it goes into panic mode and it freezes and it breaks. So that's the problem. Okay, so with this type of hair, what is recommended is that you do protein treatments, like because obviously protein treatments are going to strengthen your hair, because your hair generally doesn't have enough moisture. You can do protein treatments, and then you can also just do deep conditioning treatments as well. um, Deep conditioning treatments will then also help you with managing your hair and also trying to retain the moisture that your hair needs, right? So those are the three types of hair. Okay, right? And yeah, also what I can think of is that you guys would probably need hot oil treatments, because I can imagine like your scalp is screaming for help. I don't know how true this is. I don't have that hair type, but thinking about it, because your hair absorbs all the moisture and absorbs all the water, your scalp is probably dry, so hot oil treatments would also be like something that you can put into like your hair routine and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the three types of hair porosities. There's high, low, and medium, right? So do yourself a favor and just do the test. Do the porosity test. If it sinks down to the bottom, you are high porosity. If it goes to the middle, you guys are good. You don't got problems. If it still floats to the top, you've got low porosity, right? So depending on where you're sitting, then you will know how to manage your hair, how to take care of your hair, what to do and what not to do, because it would be pointless if you just pump up on deep oil conditioning treatments. Ooh, it will be pointless if you pump up on deep conditioning treatments whereas you don't need them. or if you pump up on oil, what you call it, hot oil treatments when you actually don't need them, you know. So it's always good to know your hair, know what works for you, try out different products. The thing is, with this thing, it's a trial and error, and even though maybe you have a specific hair type according to those three levels, what I mentioned might not actually work for you, you know. Sometimes it might, sometimes it might not, you know. So what I'm saying is not cast in stone, but generally that is, you know, the whereabouts of like how you can like take care of your hair depending on where it sits. But it's a trial and error, guys. Like you literally learn your hair, you know, learn what works for it, you learn what doesn't work for it. So yeah, even with protein treatments, some people's hair flourishes when they do protein treatments. Some people's hair doesn't need the protein and it doesn't like protein treatments. So it's literally a matter of trying it out, seeing what works for you and what doesn't work for you, so that you know how to take care of your hair better, you know. So yeah, guys, that is the end of this whole segment, this two-part segment of 5 basic tips on how to take care of your hair. um those are like the foundations, you know. That's like the foundation of how to take care of it. We're not supposed to just make this complicated. Also, just at night, another tip, maybe what you can do, like at night, always just keep your hair in plaits so that it's easier to style the next morning, you know. Keeping your hair in high buns is not always recommended because obviously it pulls your hairline. Unless if you don't have hairline problems, then keep your hair in bun every day, girl. But yeah, what else? The whole plastic tip, that works for me. Like, try it. Wrap your hair. So put in leave-in conditioner. Wrap your hair with the plastic bag. Tie a satin doek, and then just sleep. When you wake up, yeah, when you wake up, guys, you'll thank me later. And then the last one that I can think of off of the top of my head, I had it. I literally had it. Oh, it's like protective hairstyles and plaiting, you know. Sometimes it's good to just give your hair a break and just keep your hair in plaits. I keep my hair in plaits usually in the winter, like when it's cold, obviously, because of the weather conditions. My hair generally breaks a lot, and because of that, to avoid all of that, I keep it in plaits, and then I'm sorted, you know. So yeah, guys, that's it, and that was me with my 5 basic tips. Thank you guys for watching. Please give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below so I can hear your suggestions, you know. Give me like suggestions or what you think worked for you, what worked for you and what didn't work for you, what you've tried as well, maybe something else that can, you know, benefit someone else. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please subscribe, and hit the alert button so you get notified as soon as I upload new content. Thank you guys for watching. From my crown, is this still a crown? It's still my hair because it's on my head. So yes, from my crown to yours.